So what struck me in today as I read this during my holy hour, what struck me was the phrase that I all of a sudden I often use at funerals, to believe it or not. It said, and I didn't know that it was in the letter of Hebrews. It didn't jump out at me any before, but it must have been because I've read these readings every year that you don't know how they come into you and affect your life, right? But he said, "Let us hold unwavering to our confession that gives us hope. For he who made the promise is trustworthy." And I think that for me, it's like, that jumped up first is our year of hope, as you can see from the banner, right? That we are people of hope. People, not just like wishing hope, real hope that we know that the words that were given to us by God, that, that for those who are faithful to Christ in this life, God will be faithful to them in the next, is the what we hang on to. And it's not just anybody who said that to us, but we believe it's God who said that to us. And so whenever we're talking about church teaching or anything that we say, it's like, it's not just anyone who told us to celebrate the Eucharist like that. They thought it was a good thing. It is Christ who said, "Do this in memory of me." And he's not just anyone, as we believe, And I always say in the funeral, I go through all the symbols so that when people are reminded. And then I say, but behind all these symbols is a promise. And it's the promise that God would be faithful to us, that as we are faithful to him, that he is our God and we are his people, we belong to him. And that on the day of a funeral, we cash in on this promise that we hope in this life. They are people of hope, people that know that in the end, God's promise to us that good is already has already won, and that we are called to choose the side of good. And then when we do, we have this hope of eternal goodness, eternal blessedness. And that's what drives us forward. That's what causes us to make the decisions that we make in this life, is because of that promise. And it's not just anyone in Scripture who made this promise. God made this promise. He's made the promise throughout the ages. And then I really like the other part. We must consider how we are to rouse one another to love and good works. We can encourage one another to do good. Rouse them, If you read your because I always also read the Living with Christ, for those who have the Living with Christ, there's a little reflection, I thought excellent reflection, about how parents are constantly rousing their kids up. Get up, you got to get to school, you got to go to do your homework. You're trying to kind of get them to do what they need to do. So parents know how to rouse, they say the whole life because they know it's good. But then what about us rousing each other up? By supporting each other, calling each other to goodness, not condemning, but just rousing, like saying, "Hey, let's do something good together. Let's do something holy together." And I think that is a great way to kind of challenge ourselves in our interacting with one another. Is let's rather than condemn, rather than belittle or kind of force them. How about let's do it together? That's hopefully my goal. I always live crossing the street ministry or let's do it together. We're going to get this done. We're going to make this happen. And I think that is such a great way. I guess maybe it speaks to me because that's what I try to do as well. If we don't did that with our husbands and our wives and our children and our friends, come on, let's go there together, rouse each other up and I think that's what to love and to do the good works that need to get done. May we remember that, because you don't know how sometimes we're such individualists trying to kind of, we're going to go to do something good, go to adoration, go to do some charitable work, or go to some parish function. Think about bringing someone along with you and see if you can rouse. Come on, just come with me, And who knows how God will work in that way. So we help each other. I think that's what's the most important thing. And by the way, the very next line is the line that's often used. It's used in the Catechism about why you don't miss Mass. And it comes right from the Bible. It says, "We should not stay away from our assembly as is custom of some, but instead encourage one another. So don't absent, one of the phrases, absent yourself from a Eucharistic assembly. Don't be missing it. is what the letter to the Hebrews says, as some do. So as we continue, remember, let's help each other be holy, because that's ultimately, I think, the challenge for us as well. And then hopefully when we hear someone else trying, that we would respond in the same way.